Hello and welcome to Sports Thursday. My name is Joel Cooper, and wow, what a last month or two we have had for sport. If you consider sport something that you don't just hate on because other people like it, sport can really be a full 12-month hobby. Not just a seasonal one that ends when your NRL team gets booted out, doesn't even make the finals. No, there's great sports going on everywhere. The last couple of years, I've definitely been jumping more into the NFL to fill my break between the end of the NRL and AFL season and the start of the next season. It's a long summer, but when you get into the NFL, it is a massive 6 months, and we're kind of getting here to the end. We're getting Super Bowl 56 within a fortnight, which is very exciting. Two teams that we really didn't think were going to be here and playing in the Super Bowl. I guess the Rams were expected to at least make the playoffs and maybe have a go for it. But Joey Burrow and the Bengals, that's unexpected, but very, very exciting. And I have to say, I'm really going to be rooting for Joey Burrow and the Bengals. They're definitely the underdog, and it's difficult not to root for an underdog. But I mean, last week in the NFC Championship game, we saw Cooper Kupp put all of his teammates at the Rams on his back and carry the Rams into Super Bowl 56. So anything's possible if he scores 2 or 3 touchdowns and has a lot of receiving yards. The Bengals are going to be in trouble, but I think that Joey Burrow is the better quarterback of the two. So if his defense can keep the Bengals in the game, Joey Burrow is going to be hard to beat. But it's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to take the Bengals. I think the Bengals will win by 4. I'm going to go by 4. But you never know. It could be a blowout. I'm hoping it's a close game, at least. And we've seen that in the last couple weeks of the playoffs. It felt like every game came down to a single play, a field goal, or a winning touchdown. So very, very interesting. There's been some very interesting news in the NFL not related to the two teams that are in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, a player I have a lot of love for, Tom Brady, has called it quits officially now after we've had reports for about a week that it was going to happen, but nothing confirmed. He put up a massive Instagram post, which I actually read through and was very impressed. A lot of wisdom there for a guy that has really done it all. 10 Super Bowl appearances, 7 wins. I really can't see that being beaten, but you never know. I think the greatest thing about Tom Brady's career that we'll talk about for a very long time is that he was able to do it with different teams, do it through adversity. A lot of those runs weren't clean, especially the run to the Super Bowl after Deflategate and all of that went down. But look, what a career. Do I wish that he was going to go around one more time? Yes, of course. It would have been great to see, but all the best to him now. I'd love, after a bit of some time off from the game, I'd love to see him back in some kind of commentating, probably not commentating, but maybe on the Eli and Manning broadcast or something back into the game. I don't think there's any way he'd become a coach. He's already played in the NFL more than a lot of coaches coach in the NFL, so I cannot see him coming back in that respect. Some other interesting news was Jimmy Garoppolo has called it quits with his time at the 49ers. Very surprising. Not that it happened, because there was talk for a while that relationship there wasn't going exactly how everyone was thinking. But yeah, still I would say fascinating that no real news yet on where he's going. I guess that's the interesting bit. I think it'd be fitting if the understudy to Tom Brady at the Patriots, Jimmy Garoppolo, would end up at the Bucs now that they need a quarterback. I think that would be fantastic. News will be coming out shortly, I'm sure, because you don't want to leave your your trade too late in the game, and you might get something that you're not looking for. Something interesting for next year will be to see if Josh Allen will go on a revenge tour. Can he come back to the year that he was having and the year the Bills were having? The Bills were red hot and looked like they were going to win that game at Arrowhead, but didn't end that way, and I'm sure that'll fuel him to come back bigger than ever, but we'll have to see. It'll be interesting to see as well if the Chiefs will reevaluate how their season went. Mahomes, for the most part of the season, was playing excellent. He did not play well in their loss to the Bengals, but there's a lot of issues there, I think, with that team, and especially the defense. In other news, the Australian Open happened. Moving on. The next year or so will be fascinating to see how sports interacts with the new COVID rules. Especially seeing some players are against getting the vaccine. The leagues have taken an approach that is a bit half-assed. They seem to, especially the NRL, seem to go very strict, and then we're not sure how that's going to play out in the season and if the rules are going to be enforced very, very strictly or even change because of pressure from public and players and the Players Association, but we will see. But the rules do have the potential to knock out some big players. Nelson Asofa Solomona in the NRL, if he's not allowed to train, he's not going to be in the squad, he won't play. We haven't really heard too many other players. In the AFL, the biggest name I've heard so far is Jack Darling for the West Coast Eagles, their big forward. My understanding is over in WA, you need to be vaccinated if you're an employee. So even if the AFL says, no, you're all good, Jack, he could have some trouble there with the state rules. So we'll have to see how that pans out. And if the codes in Australia can figure a good balance between protecting the players and protecting the public, but also, letting the season happen as we want it to, and let the football happen. There's some NRL news that is fascinating. As a Broncos fan, it's going to be a great year, guys. You watch this. Playoffs time, baby. Nah, but it should be really good. I'm very impressed with what I've seen out of Adam Reynolds so far. As captain, his press conference I thought was excellent when he was asked about, is it nerve-wracking to go up against your former club that you've led for so long, round one? And he said, it's not going to be nervous at all. I'm a Bronco now. And those are definitely the words you want to hear out of a recruit who's just come to the club and someone that I'm hoping can turn around our side, because the Broncos are a good side. We just didn't have much direction in the 7 and the 6, so we'll see what happens. The Anthony Milford situation dumbfounds me. If the reports are true that Newcastle are going to get Milford for next year, I just don't understand what's going on there. The Newcastle Knights expect to sign troublesome players with trouble off field and expect it not to affect how they play. Mitch Pearce, for example. I really see this as a terrible move, and if it is true, I'm sorry, Knights fans, but that's going to come back and bite you. The last thing I want to talk about is an interesting one. Can Souths go the distance next year without Adam Reynolds? Are they a contender? They definitely are. Will they struggle in the moments where they need a clutch halfback? Probably. And it could cost them games. And it could cost them in a big game. Benny Elias has got big shoes to fill. But maybe some of the pressure will be taken off on some of the other players. Maybe Cody Walker can pick up some skills that he needs. Probably a better, longer kicking game might be in Walker's off-season. We'll have to see. But look, Souths have got Latrell, they've got Cody Walker, Alex Johnston. It's a Damien Cook, Cody Walker. It's an exciting side. Yes, the 7 is a big jersey to fill. But the stars around it might be able to pick up some slack and let Elias just kind of acclimatise to the NRL environment. But on the other hand, you can see what happened at Brisbane. We really struggled without a solid number 7, and it cost us games, and it cost us big time. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm excited to see the Roosters come back with some players this time. And hopefully it'd be great to see them make the finals, especially after such a horrid year last year with injury. And they were competitive even without the players that were out. But when Joey Manu got injured, that was kind of the end. They just couldn't keep doing it. You can't just keep flipping players. So hopefully they stay healthy and have a good year. Thanks for tuning in. That's all I have for this week on sport, and I will catch you next week. Thank you.